It is indeed a blessing for me to be sitting side by side or beside Sister EISODIA.
No.
Yes, Sister EISODIA, tell us what brought you to this celebration today.
Well, because it's Orthodox here at this church, when you're Orthodox, you support Sister and Brother Orthodox. This church is American Orthodox. I go to a Russian Orthodox church or a Greek Orthodox church, but in the world of Orthodoxy, it's all the same. For instance, if you were Roman Catholic, if you were in Spain, you'd be Roman Catholic, and if you were in England, you'd be Roman Catholic, and if you were in America, you'd be Roman Catholic. It's the same with the Orthodox Church. If you are in Georgia, you're Orthodox. If you are in America, you're Orthodox. If you're in Russia, you're Orthodox. In Greece, you're Orthodox. It's all the same church. So when people say, oh, are you Greek Orthodox or are you Russian Orthodox? No, I'm American Orthodox, which is the same church.
That's very good information, Sister. Now, Sister, how long has it been that you've been a member of the Russian Orthodoxy?
I'm not a member of the Russian Orthodox. Oh, well, yes, actually, I said I'm going to the Russian Orthodox Church, but I'm a member of the Orthodox Church. You know, I don't usually tell people how many years, because I stop and I think, now why was that information important? It has been many, many years. And I'm so glad to have found the fullness of Orthodoxy. I found it when I was working in Jerusalem. I lived in Israel. I worked just outside of Tel Aviv. And for Easter one year, I went to the church, the Orthodox Church, in the heart of Jerusalem. And while I was there, God changed my heart. And I became Orthodox. And I'm so thankful. I've been Orthodox since that moment. And then later on in my life, God led me to monasticism. And I am so grateful for that. So the Orthodox Church is a full and very big church. You can find it all over the world.
You know, it's such a beautiful story. I often ask people how long they've been involved in the church, and also going back, you're so blessed to have had that spiritual awareness, because some people, it takes years to seek for something and still they don't find. When did you first discover this planted in your heart?
Well, I didn't know that it was planted in my heart. I remember one time a priest told me, you know, pray without ceasing. And a minister of another church that I was going to said, well, why are those monks wasting their time praying? They could be building churches, or they could be building hospitals or schools. And then I thought about the difference in those two statements. And I thought, the most important thing you can do as a Christian is take a little bit of time out of maybe this 80 good years that you've got on this planet and approach the maker of the universe on behalf of someone else. That's the most you can do. More than building a hospital or a school, those things will be done by the state. But as a Christian, especially a monastic, we pray. And when that entered and seated in my heart, then I think I was a goner. I became Orthodox. But when I was living, actually I was living just outside of Rehovot and working in Rehovot. And when that happened, it was Easter, and so many amazing coincidences happened to take me to that church. I can't even describe them all. And when I got there, I walked in there, and first of all, I started crying because it's so beautiful. And here is where Christ was crucified, and here is where Christ was buried, and it's all under one very nice, big church. And I thought, God, you have brought me here. I will be Orthodox. I don't say that every person should be Orthodox. I don't know where all you will find God, but I know where I found Him.
Sister, what is a monastic life?
it's a very different life, in a way that's very similar to being married. A married couple is in obedience to each other and cares for each other and has their own separate rhythm from the rest of the world. And the same is true in a monastery. I described it to my sister one time. When we were little girls, we used to get in a three-legged race. We'd tie two of our legs together and the other outside legs. We'd run together as if it were three legs. And if one of us wasn't running in step, we'd fall down. So being in a monastery is like that, except that now you have 20 nuns running together, and if one of them falls down, the others pick her up and keep going, or maybe the whole run falls down, but they get back up and they run again, and that's what it's like, working together.
Some final questions. Sister, you're so blessed to have received this opportunity to serve the Lord. When would you say are those special moments when you're closest to Him? Can you say that He has spoken to you?
Well, He speaks to everyone in that still small voice, and so there's no time that He doesn't speak to me. There's just a lot of time I don't hear.
Wow, beautiful messages. And people always want to do good because they think of like going to heaven and hell, or hell maybe for some people that they don't know they're going to. But is this a physical place, sister, that we're talking about? Is there heaven? Is there hell?
I have to say what Christ said, because I don't know. Christ didn't talk to me about hell, and He didn't talk to me about heaven. He did say, I'm going to a place to prepare for you. The Orthodox believe that we make our own hell. And if you want to reject Christ, if you want to reject God, that's hell.
A very special message for those who are spiritually seeking.
Come and see.
Thank you, sister, for joining us.